Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. For this tutorial you're making my signature Zara cap, and I have this stretchy fabric here. I'm using a stretchy shiny fabric, and I'm also going to be making use of my rule feathers. Any kind of feathers would do. Your MACO, crinoline, but for this project I'm using this black one and a pair of scissors. Lest I forget, I'll also be using my needle and thread. So let's get right into making this Zaracap proper. Okay, I have my fabric cut out already, but the funny thing is that this fabric keeps rolling, so it wouldn't just straighten up so that I can have accurate measurement. I'm using a length of 23 inches by 16 inches. So you can make do with 16 or 18 inches. 23 inches length and the width is 16 inches. So I'm just going to fold my fabric into two this way. I'm going to fold it into two and I'm going to notch the middle with my scissors. This is to enable me know where to place my MACO. I'm going to do the same thing for my MACO. The measurement for my MACO is 2.5 inches width, 2.5 inches, and then the length is 18 inches. You can make it 18 or 19 inches, but I'm working with 18 inches. So right now I'm going to fold my MACO into two this way, and after folding it into two with my scissors I'm going to notch the middle so that I can connect it with my fabric. I'm done notching the middle, and I'm just going to go over and open up my fabric and go right to placing my MACO on it. And then I'm just going to connect the midpoint together. I'm ensuring that my MACO sits, the midpoint of my MACO touches the midpoint of my fabric so that I can have an even work. So I'm just going to go over and bring up my fabric down. Yeah, I am done. So I am going to use an office pin to just hold my fabric down so that my MACO doesn't shift. At the end, at the tail end where my MACO stops, I'll use an office pin. And after that, I'm going to fold my fabric underneath my MACO this way. I'm going to neatly fold my fabric underneath my MACO. Working with this fabric isn't actually easy because it keeps folding, like rolling up. I just have to straighten it up. After doing so, I would sew on it. I would remember to place an office pin at the end where your MACO stops, and then I'm going to sew like this till I get to the end by half an inch or quarter an inch. Alright, so I am done sewing. I have sewn my MACO and my fabric together. Remember, not on the MACO but on the fabric. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold my fabric into two this way. I still need to straighten it up. After folding, at the end, just create a curve like this, more like a C. This way, create a curve this way with your chalk and then cut it out. So I'm done cutting. As you can see, I just have this curve. I'm just going to sew down to the end by half an inch. I'm going to sew it now. I'm done sewing. And what I'm going to do next is use my needle and my thread to sew running or loose stitches just above the band like this till I get to the end of my work. So I'm basically sewing loose stitches. Once I get to the end, I'm going to tie it. I'm going to tie it. And once I tie it, tying it is so that I can have a firm stitch. And after tying it, I'm going to go over and repeat the process. I'm going to come down again. I'll tie it firmly and then I'm going to come down again so that my work can be very tight and firm. So all right, so I am done tying it and we have created our Zara cap. So this is what it looks like when we turn it inside out. This is what we have. Beautiful. So we're just going to go right into embellishing it with our fascinator by the side. So I'm just going to keep this aside and bring up my crinoline. So for this project, all I'm going to be using is this crinoline, this big crinoline, and my feathers only. This is just what I'll be working with. So you can decide to embellish it whichever way you want, add designs and the rest. The measurement for the crinoline is 32 inches. I'm working with 32 inches for this project. So I'm going to go ahead and get my crinoline. I will fold it into two this way. Remember, I'll fold it like this into two. And then I'm just going to tie on the mouth, the edge of the crinoline with my thread. I'm going to tie it so that when I'm working with it, it doesn't lose. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and tie it firmly. I'm done tying it. You can decide to repeat this process at the other end of the crinoline also. I actually forgot and I had to do it when I was creating my loose stitches, when I almost got to the tail end of the crinoline. So I advise that you tie both edge of your crinoline before you begin working. So now I'm going to create loose stitches this way on my crinoline. I'm going to do it this way till I get to the end of my crinoline. Please, guys, I appreciate your support over time. If you have come this far and you haven't clicked on the subscribe button, kindly do so. I beg you, please kindly click on the subscribe button so that you would get notified and you join the family and know whenever I post a new video. Thank you so much. And to my existing subscribers, I really, really, really do appreciate you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for staying with this family. So we move. I am almost at the end of my crinoline. Yeah. As you can see, I've gotten to the end and I just have to tie my crinoline with another thread so that it doesn't loose and I don't have free edges. Now that I'm done, I'm just going to drag my thread so that it gives me the desired folding that I want. So while I drag my thread, I'll go ahead and just adjust my crinoline to whichever shape and size that I want and placement. So after dragging, I'm going to arrange it to my taste. And after I am done arranging it with my needle and my thread, I'm going to sew. I'm going to secure the crinoline. So I'm going to sew both folds together with my needle and my thread. I'm done sewing it, and this is what I have. At this point, you can use your UHU gum to hold it together also, so that you can, if you want your crinoline to sleep, you can use your UHU gum or your glue gun. So I will not be cutting out the edge of my crinoline. You can decide to cut it out, but I'm just going to be leaving it like this. Now I'm going to get another crinoline and I'm going to fold it this way. This is for creating our loop. I'm going to fold it this way and turn it over like this, and then I'm going to tie on the edge using my needle and my thread. So this is for my loop. I'm going to go ahead and create another one. I'm going to fold them like this, fold it again, and also tie the edge. So I'm going to create as many as I can. For this project, I'll just be creating 4. I'll be working with 4, but you can go ahead to make yours more than 4. I'm going to go again and create the third one. I'm going to continue and create the third one. I'm going to go ahead and create the fourth one. Fold it into 2. And then I'm going to tie it. So I am done. I'm just going to cut out my leftover crinoline. I am done creating my loop, and this is what I have. So I'm going to attach the loop to my fascinator using my needle and thread first before I go over to use my glue gum. I'm done tying. Now you can decide to use your UHU gum, but I'm going to use my glue gun once there is light, once I have light, to connect, to secure my crinoline, to secure the loop to the crinoline so that it can be firmer on the crinoline. Now I have my feathers cut out. For this project I'm using these feathers. You can use the other kind of feathers. I'm just working with this project with these feathers for this project for illustration sake. So you can use brooches, you can use the longer feathers, whatever you deem fit to work, to design or embellish your Zaracap or fascinator. So now I'm going to use my needle and thread and secure the feathers, but you can use your UHU gum also. So I am done securing it to the fascinator, and this is what we have. This is beautiful. So if you wouldn't want your crinoline to be this bulky, I advise that you use gum at the middle to just reduce the bulkiness. Gum would actually hold your crinoline firm. Now I'm going to be placing my crinoline on my Zaracap this way. I'm first of all going to be using my needle and thread to secure the crinoline. I will be sewing lightly on the fabric, not on the MACO. So I'm going to be attaching the fabric this way and the crinoline together, as you can see. So I'll just go ahead and attach my crinoline on the fabric of my Zaracap this way. After sewing it, I would go ahead and use my gum also on these sides. Now, using your gum is also very important, to use your gum to secure your um fascinator to your Zaracap. Okay, so on all of these sides you apply gum, and then you go to the next side and apply gum so that it can be very firm on your cap. And after applying gum, this is what you would have. Remember guys, I don't have glue yet, so I can't apply my gum, but for just this illustration, this is your Zara cap, and this is what it looks like on my mannequin. All right guys, thank you so much for watching. Please, if you haven't subscribed, kindly